Hopefully I don't jinx Kemba with this video. The Knicks dropped him from the rotation, and then he dropped 40 points. After he came back into the rotation, obviously you knew that. The biggest thing was the pull-up threes in this one. He made 7 threes, and I believe all of them were off the dribble. Now, is 40 points sustainable from Kemba? No, of course not. Nor is the nearly 40 minutes a game that he's been averaging since he came back. But this does show that he can have a place on this team. We're going to talk about the Knicks guard rotation in a moment. There's a lot of guys to mention in the whole thing, but I think Kemba can have a place among that. Against Atlanta on Christmas, he didn't shoot well, but he did have 12 assists, so that's nice. This is probably my favorite action from those 12 assists. You had the Obi handoff, and then the screen from Mitchell Robinson. Alec Burks is screening Mitchell Robinson's guy on the dive, so then John Collins has to decide what to do. What does Kemba do? Skip past to Obi in the opposite corner. Being able to still get to the paint would help out Kemba's case as well. And he had a couple of tough layups against the Pistons. And he also had a lot of free throw attempts against the Celtics. Not all of them were drives to the rim, but a few of them were. Derrick Rose, of course, just had an injury that's going to leave him out for a while. So, of course, somebody's got to get minutes in the absence, and, well, right now it's Kemba. Personally, I want to know how good Immanuel Quickley really is, and I think the best way to learn that is by putting a little bit more on his plate in terms of minutes and just responsibility for the offense. Unfortunately, he's out now as well. Another option at guard for them is Miles McBride. Similar to Quickley, he's out right now as well. He got a lot of steals in college. He also shot well from 3 as a sophomore. He also had a very good assist-to-turnover ratio in his second season. But when you dive into the scouting reports, a lot of draft people say that's more because he's good at making the obvious play than he is like a dynamic playmaker. So we'll see. He played well against the Rockets, and then he hasn't been able to play since. Speaking of playmaking, am I crazy for hoping that RJ can show off some more of his passing chops, especially as the Knicks are down a few guys? Now on to OKC, where Josh Giddey was grinding his passing badges. 0 points, 10 assists. And as I always do, I've got to find the most Josh Giddey play of all of them, and here you go. A couple of missed tip layups or whatever, then a perfect bounce pass. Big fan of this one. As Giddey gets the screen from Favors, Kenrich Williams acts like he's going to set a screen. Really, he's going to cut to the rim, and Giddey, he sees it the entire time. And this one's beautiful as well. No explanation needed. Here's a stat for you. Keldon Johnson is shooting 48% from 3. Yeah, he doesn't shoot a super lot, but he has been warming up to them lately. And he went 4 for 4 from outside in this one. But of course, when it comes to a Keldon Johnson highlight, what you really want to see is him barreling his way to the rim. You can put anybody in the paint, and Keldon Johnson is still going to find his way in there. If he's going to have this on top of the improving 3, look out. Let's talk Miami for a little bit. So they just got Jimmy back. That's nice, but they have been a bit beat up lately. Jimmy's out, Bam is out, and yet they've managed to hold up. Now, some of that is benefiting from a not super difficult schedule. Another is they've had a role player party going on. One of them is Max Strus, who's shooting over 40% from outside. Another one is Gabe Vincent, who's had 15 assists in his last 2 games. He has given Miami some extra juice in their offense. His best game was probably the 15th against the Sixers, where he was 7 for 12 from outside. He was a good shooter for most of his time in college. He shot about 38% on over 600 attempts. So it's possible that Miami found themselves another gem. Tatum has entered health and safety. Well, hopefully Tatum's alright. Bro, when I do a video about another team and I'm like, the Mavs are not good, the Sixers are not good, they usually win the next game. I do one on the Celtics, and now Tatum's out. Can I just do one positive video about the Celtics? I've been waiting to do one for like 2 years at this point. Brandon Boston gets the rebound while tying his shoe, alright. He's not paying attention at all, beautiful. Thybulle against the Wizards. 1 block, 2 steals, 0 points. You know what, this video's had too much offense. So let's check out these steals. Thybulle's on Dinwiddie, fights around both screens, and they just kept going. I remember Thybulle said once when he was breaking down his film, a lot of the time it's like he gets beat initially, but then he just keeps playing hard. It also helps that he's huge for a guard. This one's real nice as well. So here he rotates to the corner because Denny was trying to get that to Corey Kispert. Got to give a shout out though to Tobias for making the initial rotation, forcing Denny to make the pass in the first place. Now for more subtle things from Thybulle on defense. Here, just a quick swipe in on Kuzma forces him to pick the ball up. Now he's got Kuzma on a post-up. Nearly strips him right there. You'll take that all day if you're the Sixers. Alright, impromptu Bleacher Report article. One trade for every team on Christmas. Mavs and Nets swap stars. What is this, Porzingis for Kyrie? Porzingis for Kyrie, I have no idea, man. You expect me to predict this to happen? One little detail I would like to point out, the Mavs actually do have draft picks they can trade if they want to get real wild into the future. Do they have players who teams want? I don't know about that one. But you throw some picks in there, you could probably get somebody. And they definitely need something. Probably some more shot creation. Jazz take a 3-and-D flyer. The main thing here is a lottery-protected 2026 first for Cam Reddish. Are the Jazz going to be in the lottery in 2026? I don't know. My guess is no. So then what would that turn into? A couple second-rounders? I don't really know, but Cam Reddish is interesting. Do the Hawks view him as a guy they have to hang on to? His extension is, of course, he's extension eligible this offseason. Doesn't mean you have to give it to him after this offseason. You can take it into the 4th year. If I was Atlanta, I would prefer to hang on to Reddish. I think he's making good progress. Knicks defensive anchor, or Miles Turner, what's the move? Nerlens Obi, Miles McBride, top 10 protected 2022. So that most likely would convey for Miles Turner. I mean, if I was the Pacers, I would be interested in this return. I mean, it depends on the other offers, of course. If I'm the Knicks, Knicks fans are saying no to this instantly because of Obi Toppin in the move. I get that. And I think I'm there with them. Obi's offensive potential, off the dribble, he's shown stuff. When he sets screens, it just activates another layer of their offense. Guys start moving. He's diving to the rim. He, of course, has gravity going to the basket, which can open up shots for other guys. And, of course, he was a big-time scorer in college, and I think he can put up a lot of points in the NBA with a bigger role. So I would hang on to him. Are you risking your defense never getting back to last year's level if you don't take on Miles Turner? Sure, but it's not as if Miles Turner is the only good defensive player in the entire NBA you could acquire this year. Celtics go all in. Did they trade Jalen? Yep, they traded Jalen. 2022, 24, 26, Dame. Are we sure that Jaylen Brown will not just be better than Dame in 3 years with his abdomen injury that has apparently been plaguing him for a long time? I will say, though, just while we're here talking about the Celtics, and they put in a lot of picks and all that, I would be okay. In fact, I might even encourage it for the Celtics to pull off one of those moves where they end up moving like 2 unprotecteds and 1 protected, or whatever the hell combination you want to go with. Schroeder's been in the rumors a little bit. Okay, him plus some of these could get you something. My dream is that the Celtics get Sabonis without moving Tatum and Jalen. I don't really think that's possible, though. As far as the whole splitting up Tatum or Jalen conversation, I don't agree with any of that. Bucks add a backup 5. Brook Lopez for Derek Favors. All right, so this is basically Brook. We don't trust that you can come back from the back injury. Which, for what it's worth, I think it's a fair thing to think about. Go for the guarantee as opposed to the potential of Lopez coming back. But I also think you could get a center without giving up Brook. Warriors go all in. Oh, just the Wiseman, Kuminga, Moody, Sabonis. I just don't think the Warriors are trading any of their young dudes. Lakers get desperate. No, Buddy Hield. THT, Kendrick Nunn, Wayne Ellington, Austin Reeves for Buddy Hield. So 4 for 1. Can you even do that? Lopsided raw numbers, alright, so they kind of mentioned that. Well, before it was going to be Buddy for Kuzma, Montrez, and KCP, right? Or was it just Kuzma and Montrez? Whatever it was. Kuzma was definitely in the deal. Pretty sure Montrez was as well. Is that comparable to this? THT in a different situation where you can have the ball more, maybe, but also it's like with the emergence of Halliburton plus De'Aaron Fox, I don't even know if THT would have the ball like that. Kendrick Nunn. Kendrick Nunn's got a bit of Buddy Hield in him where he likes to shoot. Sometimes he's frustrating. Sometimes he's great. Wayne Ellington, maybe you could flip him to a different team. I don't know if Ellington really would be that exciting for Sacramento given his age. Austin Reeves, low usage guy who knows his place. That's valuable. Could have some more scoring potential, not in LA. My gut is that I don't love this for Sacramento. Mainly because of Kendrick Nunn's health. He's been out for a long time with a knee injury. If you promised me he could be a consistent at least 16 points a game guy, I think I would say yes to this. But without that, I'm saying no for the Kings.